Welcome to HomeKit 5. I'm Josh.
I'm Brayden.
And this week we're going to talk about CES 2022. Let's see, Sync and Matter. So we had a lot of news kind of coming out this week for sure. We knew we would. But we kind of picked some interesting articles. A lot of the news was just straight coming out of CES, but there were kind of specific things we wanted to hit. And first up, we want to talk about Eve. So they actually came out of the gate quite early. I think right before CES actually opened, they announced that they were going to have the Eve outdoor cam and they were going to have the Eve motion blinds with thread. So the motion blinds, I believe you can order now. You can get on the Omnia Blinds website and pick a size and everything. I think you can just order them and they'll ship to you. They are pricey. I think the cheapest cheapest set I saw was started at $300, and it looks like that's maybe for a 24-inch. But you can customize the width you need and everything, and how they're gonna mount. And I think they get custom made for you, so you can pick the color and everything. It looks pretty cool. Might have to get on there and order something later, but I was quite impressed with that. And so it was kind of cool to be having an actual product that's available, right? Kind of coming out as one of the first announcements for CES for HomeKit anyway. So great job to Eve there. They also announced the outdoor cam. It will be 1080p at 24 frames per second, can do 157 degree field of view, two-way audio, weather resistant, IR night vision. Sounds like a good solid camera, but it's also a floodlight. So that's nice because there's not a ton on the market. I think there's an Atatmo. I feel like there's one other one. I'm just not thinking of it. Does Arlo have one? Yeah, but this one's going to support HomeKit secure video. I'm not sure the other ones do. So I'm kind of excited about this one because I've been looking for something in this range. This one won't come out. They're saying April 5th, and the price is a little high. I think it's $250 per camera. Yeah, $249.99 or $95. But it will support everything out of the box. And now that we have iOS 15 with iCloud support for more than, five cameras. I'm super excited about this one, so we can tack that on to our system for sure.
Yep. All right, so Belkin.
This was another shocker.
Yes. With their Wemo brand, they announced a HomeKit video doorbell. It supports both the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands of Wi-Fi with a 4 megapixel camera. It does not say whether it is 2K or 1080p. It has a 178 degree field of view, and this one comes in at $250.
Yeah, and they're saying February or March at the moment. It's still, I think, a little light on details. I'm excited for this one though because, one, does it overheat like the one we have now? Sometimes occasionally has overheating problems, and ours was in the very deep summer, hottest part of the year. And
alongside the doorbell, they have announced a smart switch, smart dimmer, and a smart plug as well. Not much on those.
Well, they will have thread chips in them, and they will have Matter firmware updates once that comes out. Right. I think just the presence of thread there is pretty awesome. I feel like Wemo is more of a budget brand. I liked their light switches. They were easy to install. They had 3-way switches you could put in place that worked well. But the problem was the Wi-Fi. It was slow and felt clunky using the thing, and sometimes they're hard to update. So my hope is with their thread stuff, maybe it's going to be, a little more reliable, a little quicker. Yeah, so I'm certainly excited about that one.
Yeah.
All right. TP-Link Tapo. So TP-Link already had another brand, and now it's not coming to my mind.
Casa.
That was it with the K. You're right. Good call. But kind of out of the blue, they announced that they're launching this Tapo brand, and they're gonna have a line of smart plugs, light bulbs, dimmers, all kinds of stuff. And the first thing they announced was the P125 mini smart plug, and it should only take up a single outlet. So if you need multiples, that's cool. They'll have a power strip if you need multiple outlets. And it also has USB-A and USB-C built onto that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have a Tapo L535 multicolor smart Wi-Fi light bulb. I'm still not a fan of Wi-Fi for this, but they also have a light strip, a smart dimmer switch. So, I mean, if it's strictly Wi-Fi, I'm not as excited. Because it seemed like everyone else was making big announcements around Thread and Matter. So, I mean, again, they could still come out and say, yes, we're going to support Matter. And you might be able to get these things set up without having to have a hub and get them into your whatever system you have through Matter. And that's great. But, to me, like, I want to keep these devices off my Wi-Fi network if I can help it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Schleg. This one is actually pretty exciting. They announced their Encode Plus with HomeKey. So this is the first smart lock that we're seeing that supports Apple's HomeKey that they announced last year at WWDC.
Yeah.
And another pretty cool thing about this is that it has power reserve. So if your phone is dead, it will still be able to the lock will still be able to be unlocked with the phone up to 5 hours.
Yeah, it seems like the power reserve just keeps the NFC functionality kind of going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
You can assign 100 access codes to it. Also, this one has Thread.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't clear how everything was going to function, but in the specs, it did mention Thread, so we're hearing that this will have Thread support out of the box. It also has Wi-Fi, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Comes in at $300.
Yeah.
In the spring. This one's definitely on my buy list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this. Plus, the other nice feature, I'm always on the fence, but like the one we have now is the Yale and Sherlock, or the Yale or Sherlock.
Sherlock, yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a keyhole.
Right.
So you can't, I can't give anyone a key. And we've also been having trouble, I'm getting errors in the app, so I can't assign new codes to it. I don't know. It worked at first, but now it's not, so need to mess around with it. Another one, this one I was not expecting, was Twinkly announced a new product called Dots. It's going to come in two configurations. You're going to have a 33-foot version that's going to have 200 LED RGB lights on it, and then they're going to have a 66-foot version. That thing's huge.
Yeah.
And 400 RGB lights on it. So, and they're also going to have a USB-powered 60 LED model, which I think is crazy. I don't think there's any USB-powered HomeKit-enabled LED light strips that you can get right now. Most of them have to be plugged into the wall. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, and they'll work with HomeKit, Alexa, Google Assistant, and even Razer Chroma, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think all the Twinkly stuff does work with Razer Chroma, the version 2 anyway. I'm pretty sure it does. But this is nice because these things are they have a built-in kind of diffuser case around each individual LED bulb. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's more subtle than it's not just a plain looking LED strip. It's actually kind of nice. It's got a black cord. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. These kind of they remind me more of fairy lights than they do of an LED strip. Yeah. So.
Yep. All right. Akara. This one, always happy to see more Thread stuff. They announced some more sensors with Thread support. Just the two, the door and window sensor and then the motion sensor as well. Those will work with your M2 and M1S hubs.
Yeah. And I think with it being Thread, my guess is you'll be able to just add them directly to HomeKit.
HomeKit, yeah.
You won't have to go through the Aqara app if you don't want. So I kind of want. I'm betting you won't even need the hub to use these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of exciting. They also said that they are going to have an update with Matter support for their Zigbee-based products. So you'll be able to flash the M1S or the M2 hub.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll work with Matter, so that should give all the rest of the stuff. All the rest of their devices would then show up in whatever ecosystem you're using, which is pretty cool.
Yep.
Nanoleaf, I didn't expect this announcement either. They announced that their shapes, elements, and their lines products will all get a firmware update to serve as a Thread border router for all Thread devices that HomeKit supports. So it will essentially become a full HomeKit Thread router that you can utilize just like the Apple TV or the HomePod Mini. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of crazy. I was not expecting that at all. We knew that they had, the Thread border router support for their own devices, but it's kind of cool to see that they're going to expand and have like full support. Theoretically, that means you could set up a full Apple HomeKit home with just the Thread products and then add other Thread products, and it should all work. Right. The thing you don't get is just the automations, because you wouldn't have a home hub at that point if you didn't have a HomePod Mini or Apple TV. So kind of cool.
Yep. All right. Arlo, they have said that they are just going to flat out support Matter. I
don't know what this means for Arlo though.
Yeah. They did also announce a new security system and all-in-one sensors. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this really means because Arlo currently has a subscription model for you to use their stuff. So I don't know if that's going to be going away to support Matter or if that's going to stick around in some way.
Yeah. I would imagine it sticks around. And like, the thing we're not sure about yet either when it comes to Matter is like if I add a Matter supported camera, that probably means that it doesn't necessarily support HomeKit Secure Video. My guess is they would have to like actively go in and support HomeKit Secure Video directly. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that kind of evolves. Aura Air. So I think they initially announced that they were going to have at some point Apple HomeKit support. I actually hadn't even heard of this product until I saw this announcement. It was announced last February, and I think they had a Kickstarter. It's like a wall-mounted unit. It's actually not bad looking, and it's got like a three-way filtering system to it. It costs $399, and it looks like the firmware update will be available soon. They said it was available to people that were at CES 2022, but I'm hearing that people that have it aren't seeing a firmware update yet. So I don't think it's quite out there yet. So there's a little confusion there, but it sounds like it should be coming, which is exciting. It looks like a really top-end smart air purifier. So I'm kind of excited. I think we might pick up a couple of these.
Yeah. All right. Cync. This is GE's smart home division.
Was GE smart home division. Yeah.
Is it no longer there?
Yeah, they got bought by Savant Systems in May 2020.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, either way, they have announced that their Cync app is going to support Matter, but it's not going to be like completely supporting all devices. It is just supporting devices that already were going to be able to be added to the app itself.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, like it's interesting. Like so through this, you're telling me like all your stuff's going to support Matter. right? That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
It does say they'll use Wi-Fi and Bluetooth mesh, which I thought was an interesting choice. Like maybe they're already like all in on the Bluetooth side of things.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, all their stuff will be addable through HomeKit through Matter, right? That's kind of what we're hearing here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They also announced a couple new products. They added some smart bulbs that the line starts at $11.99. So you got some soft white and colored bulbs.
Yeah.
You got some soft white and colored globes as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Recess smart light, downlights. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They also announced an outdoor cam, which it offers 2K HD video camera, a night vision, and a swivel head to be manually adjusted, which video can be stored locally on an SD card or in their Sync cloud using CamSync, which is a subscription-based model at $3 per month. The wired version costs $100, and the battery option costs $130, with a solar panel add-on accessory at $45. Then you can also just purchase extra batteries for $30.
You know, that's kind of interesting. That brings up an interesting question of like, you know, they're offering CamSync for $3 per month, but if I already have a HomeKit home, I'm already paying for iCloud. I add this camera through Matter. Will this go to iCloud? I'm assuming it will.
Maybe.
But I guess we won't see until we see more of like how Apple implements it.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be a fail if Apple didn't implement some kind of like direct cloud save to their own iCloud. Like that would be terrible.
Yeah. And then alongside all of those products, they announced a smart thermostat. This one is Wi-Fi controlled, and it has a power extension kit for homes without a C-wire. That comes in at $120, and their temperature sensors for $30 each.
Yeah. But their temperature sensors are temperature only, no motion or humidity sensor on it.
Correct.
The thermostat does have a humidity sensor. It feels a bit like a miss.
Yeah.
I feel like you could have just included at least the humidity, but the motion seems hopeful too. I don't know. It's not a bad looking thermostat.
No, yeah.
Has the GE logo there, so that'll be interesting to see the final version.
Mm-hmm.
So the last story here is just mostly about Matter. It was a great article by Jennifer Tuo over at The Verge, just kind of highlighting a lot of what we were seeing at CES 2022 around Matter, right? Like, I think when we first heard about it was 2020, hearing about Chip and how all these smart home manufacturers and software platforms were getting together and trying to create something. You know, we at CES we heard Amazon is going to have some kind of frustration-free setup for Matter certified devices. You won't have to use any specific Amazon SDK to do anything. You just use Matter itself.
Right.
And then Google had its own like fast pair that supported Matter. I feel like Apple was kind of missing here. But it's still, I think this is exciting to see all this movement happening, talk about it, even though we haven't seen a lot. I think that, given all the stuff we saw with Thread, I think we're going to like all that stuff's going to just out of the box, I think, be supported in Matter. So that's kind of exciting. And then the other thing we saw too was NXP came out with a new Tri-Radio chip. I think it's directed at Thread border router devices, but it's going to have Wi-Fi 6 in it, Bluetooth 5.2, and Thread. So it'll be one of these things like you can just pop this chip in, and then you're supporting all the standards that Matter is going to utilize.
Right.
I don't know. Like I'm so excited for 2022.
Yeah.
And hearing that we're getting the first Schlage Encode Plus lock with Thread support, like that is a missing piece that we haven't seen yet. And then, the Wemo stuff is supporting Thread. So I feel like we can start to build out an entire Thread home probably by mid-year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of exciting to me. And then, I don't know. Then, hearing the updates for hubs to support, I feel like, you don't want to leave devices behind.
Yeah.
So hearing that some of these hubs are going to get updates too, to work with Matter, super exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a huge year for smart homes in general, and I think that we're going to see a lot of exciting things happen. I think we're going to get to the point where you can not have to have any hubs to set anything up. You don't have to worry about device reach. You're going to have like huge Thread mesh network. Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm stoked.
Yeah.
All right. That was our last story. So just want to say thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. This is definitely one of our more exciting episodes of the year. Always love doing the CES show. That's kind of when we got started.
Yeah.
2 years ago. And if you've been following along, we very much appreciate that. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to give this a thumbs up. I will say, I think we're going to split out the channel, and we'll leave the channel we have now dedicated after this episode goes live. We'll leave this channel dedicated to just doing like new content and new reviews around smart home stuff. And then we'll split the podcast off to be its own channel going forward. And we'll start growing that separately. I think there's a little bit of confusion for YouTube and the algorithm when we post videos. There's no way for it to know if we're like posting a review style video or if we're posting a podcast. So I think it would be better if we just kind of like split those two from a YouTube perspective. But as always, if you're listening on a podcast device, we would very much appreciate you going over to the Apple podcast app, give us a 5-star review, and let us know that, you think we've done a good job with our audio quality, our editing, all that kind of stuff. And then, you can always tune in there. We'll be there every week, every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
See you guys in the next one. Bye.